Welcome to our Awakening Together channel. We're so glad that you're here. If you'd like more information about our other programs and Satsangs, please visit our website, awakening-together.org. Please enjoy the Satsang and thank you for watching.
Great. Hey, thank you so much, Dawn. Thank you, Regina, for that fabulous teaching. Dr. Moss, I can't imagine a better intro to this time we have together.
Fantastic. I was so glad to be here for it.
Yeah,
Regina, that was wonderful. I'm very, very appreciative to spend that half hour with you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And it is just the perfect lead-in to your work, to your kind of mission in the world. Regina also did a message this morning. Regina works a whole lot for being a retired president minister, but she gave a message this morning, and the bottom line was, be the love that you are. Your work is, for me, and for so many, a direct path to being the love that we are. And I mean, I could read your bio. You have a PhD. You're an ordained minister. I could talk about how you taught meditation for 20 years. You've been doing this for 30 years. But what I'd love to do is just jump right into the heart of your kind of intuitive knowing of what Regina just described with those polka dots. Would you be willing to take it from there?
I think where I would like to go to set the table is to share with you guys, and it's so much fun being with a group of people who are awakening together. I mean, yay! It's fantastic. Yeah, what fun to be here with you guys. It's just wonderful. There's something valuable in terms of understanding what I do and why I do it, in understanding how I got here and how I was able to really let guidance do it. And I'm just sort of a messenger boy for guidance. So after teaching meditation for 20 years, we were taught in the Indian tradition that all you had to do was transcend. And I don't have to really explain that to this group, to so many groups, they have no idea what I'm talking about. To transcend, to go beyond any sense of limitation and immerse yourself in being. That's all you have to do, and everything would get better. So I believed it. I mean, I taught fervently how to meditate. I spent 20 years with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, teaching that and running centers on staff, et cetera, et cetera. But 20 years later, I have candida, I have food allergies. I'm not in the kind of relationship with my wife at the time that I felt was loving, and I didn't have a personal sense of my relationship with God. Mm. So I'm going, gee whiz, all I have to do is transcend. I've done that for 20 years. I spent 9 months at a time in Switzerland learning how to do it more deeply. And yet here I am. So it's scary to have to say, for me, this path, the emperor has no clothes. It's not going to work for me. If I'm really devoted to awakening, if this is how far I got in 20 years, something's not right. So I'm living in a spiritual community based on this. All my friends are this. My wife is running the school based on this. And, you know, I'm sort of sweating bullets because I think I'd rather awaken than anything. So I'm just scared to say this to my wife and the community, but this isn't working for me. So I'm sitting on the fence with this fear, and someone sends me an article. Doesn't even say who it was who sent it. It was guidance, but the article is from Jack Kornfield. And Jack cornfield says, I spent, I think he said 10 years in a monastery in Burma. And I and all the other monks could go to the light whenever we wanted to. But when we came back, in those 10 years, I never saw one monk clear a pattern. And I went, there's my answer. It's not enough to transcend. You have to do more. And that's when I started to develop my work. I was aided in that I had an understanding of muscle testing, which I was using to find out, and I assume everyone here understands that you put your hand out, you hold some food. If it's strong, it's okay. If it goes down, it's not. That's how I determined what was for lunch or dinner. So, because I had all these food allergies and they can't eat. So one day my wife isn't there, and I'm saying, you know, there must be some way that I can test myself. And my neck goes like this. And I go, wow. Now I have food allergies, candida, and a tick. Cool. But that wasn't what happened. What actually happened was that I got the greatest gift that I'd ever been given in my life. I got given a signal. I got given a yes, no. Bam, just like that. Wow. I don't think I understood how important that was going to be for the next 20 years, but it was everything. Because Rick doesn't know diddly squat about how to do anything, but guidance does. And guidance astonishes me with what it tells me to do when I'm working, and it works. And so I just have to get Rick out of the way and listen to what I'm told. And then I get to use Rick's equipment in that I'm a little bit of an empath. So when I work with people, I can feel what they're feeling. So I can feel there's all this heaviness in the heart chakra. And then I can say, so guidance, how does that want to go? Is it like boulders sitting on top? Or is it open up and fly out? And lo and behold, guidance tells me what to tell them. And it works. So that's how I came to understand what it is that this equipment is meant to do. And it's all about what you guys know. It's all about the stuff blocks your access to who you really are. You guys know that perfectly. That's just what you were teaching, right, Regina? Of course. What else is there to teach? The self is real and the stuff is temporary. I don't like the word unreal for it, because to us it feels real and it needs to be honored and it can't be avoided, and you can't brush it away with the word, oh, you're not real. No, it's real until it's not real. And the way I like to describe it, we have a pattern. Most patterns generally come from the first 7 years in childhood. Why is that true? Because the mind in those first 7 years is narcissistic. What does that mean? That means that everything that happens to us, we interpret as being about us. So if mom and dad were neglectful or abusive or whatever, we can't possibly think that it was about mom and dad. We think, I'm unlovable, I'm bad, I'm not enough. Almost everyone that I've ever worked with has the residue of those limiting beliefs. And why is that true? Because the 5, 6, 7-year-old child doesn't have a way to deal with it. So the child uses the unconscious, the basement, to put it in the basement until the time comes to take it out and heal it, which is part of, I think, this brilliant design of the unconscious. So the unconscious holds all of these patterns, all these limiting beliefs, possibly in many past lives, all of these kind of things. And what they serve is as a cloud that blocks the sun. And my work is, how do we clear that away? How do you bring attention to it in the way that's going to work so that the cloud clears away? I like the idea of a jigsaw puzzle because it brings home a very important point. So let's say there's a board, and on the board is the sun and its radiant beauty. And let's say there's an issue, feeling insufficient, not enough. That'll be the jigsaw puzzle and the pattern of how it shows up in all your relationships at work, with everything. And we'll go in there and we'll find one of those puzzle pieces and we will clear it out. Guidance tells me it's gone forever, that puzzle piece, but the pattern isn't gone forever. The pattern is still there because you have to come back and get more pieces out. And then more and more, that sun that was under it shines through. It's important to understand that because it's sort of like going to the gym in that you have to do your reps. You have to do your repetitions. That's why I developed the website that I developed where people can work on it for free, because you can't depend on someone to be there. You have to be willing and able to do as much of the work on your own as you can do. And then how it works is you do as much as you own or you can, you work. I developed something called inner oracle cards, which really boils down all of my work into 4 decks, which tells you what's up and how to clear it. Great. This is something everyone can work with. You can download it for under $3 and you can have all of my work in a nutshell. Awesome. And then what happens is you're going to hit pieces in the jigsaw puzzle that you can't possibly do on your own. You need someone to see it. You need someone to help you overcome your resistance to looking at it. You need someone who says, I'm going to sit here with you. I'm going to tie a rope around your waist and I'm going to tie it around mine. And I'm going to sit and walk with you until you walk through this mountain of this fear. Because if it were me, I couldn't do it alone. And I don't think you can do it alone. But I'm going to be right here. And you know what? I have 20 years of walking through mountains with people. And it's never not worked. And then what's so cool is that I can use my signal. And I can say, okay, guidance, how far are they through the mountain? And guidance will say, okay, they're about 17%. And I can say, all right, so all this pain you've just had in this 4 minutes, 17%. Are you willing to keep feeling that and worse? If you can walk through this in, looks like about 20 minutes. I've never had anyone say, no, 20 minutes I can do, but if I'm going to get stuck there, I won't go. So that's how it works. And it's awfully cool.
It's just so, it's just exciting sitting here, listening to you tell that. I would love it. While I love concepts and I'd love to get into all that. How do you feel about us doing one of these clearings and then
absolutely
invite everybody to share? And
I think that's really fun.
Awesome.
And I saw my friend Reverend Carol on there. I wanted to say hi, Reverend Carol. I love you.
Yeah, and may I just say for a moment, if you could indulge me, that the reason I know about you and the reason you've had such an impact on me is because when this pandemic and the lockdown started happening, Reverend Carol, you remember, you were willing to come on a special night in the middle of the week, and she just sent out an email that said, you're going to want to come. This is a whole lot to deal with. And we all of us, people that weren't usually on Zoom, got in. You had so many that night because Reverend Carol just felt it, knew it was you. And it made such a difference. That was the beginning of this experience for a lot of us here in New Jersey. So I thank you for that. And of course, I thank Reverend Carol, who's my Audubon. So thank you. And you'll take it.
I'm grateful for, well, both of you. But yes,
hi, sweetheart.
Works. Hello.
Lovely. So, Anne, it seems to me, I'd like some guidance from you as that process of dealing with all that COVID brings up, all the fears from the unconscious, all the health issues, is pretty relevant for most people. Do you think it's appropriate that we start in the clearing process with that approach, or do you think there's something more profound that you would like to direct me to?
Well, my sense is that we all know what that means for us. That whether it's COVID in particular, or the unworthiness, or the out of controlness, or whether it's direct or indirect, I imagine that that's been triggering in some respects for many of us. So I think that's great.
Where I'll start.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. So buckle your seatbelts. This is probably going to be about 10 or 15-minute ride. Okay, so I'm going to start with an opening prayer. All healing we do in the name of God's love. Oh, wow, I can really feel you guys. It's really cool. And we give thanks for this opportunity to release the binding influence of the past. We call on God and invite the presence of all that is healing and nurturing to facilitate this healing for all present and through all present to the world. So be it. All right, take a couple of breaths and release tension and stress with your external breathing out. Breathe in light and peace so that your body starts to relax. I'd like you to imagine, please, as we use visualization here. Why visualization? Because the subconscious can't tell the difference between real and imagined. Imagine that you're standing in this tub, this vat, and this vat is filled with a liquid. When you think of the situation right now in the world, in your neighborhood, in your house, it will bring up an emotion. We're not interested in the story. It is the emotion. This is a central point of understanding. It is the emotion trapped in the belief that makes it feel real. Think of a bubble. The more emotion, the bigger the bubble. The emotion goes, the bubble's insignificant. So when you think of what's triggered for you in the current situation, find an emotion that relates to that. Could be fear, could be anger, could be a sense of betrayal. Could be judgment. Find that emotion and imagine that emotion colors the liquid in the vat. So you're now standing in this vat of that emotion as a color. Give it a little attention before I ask you to go fully into it. We want to let the feeling be what it is. We want to let it be there. And I'm going to ask you to attention it, not as a total witness where you have no connection but observation, not as the loving adult that overflows, but as a compassionate witness. It's a different vibration. It's a different healing energy. Now, I'm going to ask you to spend 2 minutes as that compassionate witness for the feeling that's there, the color, starting now. Doing great. It's about 1 more minute to go. Often this is where things start to speed up a little. Like right about now. Another 30 seconds. Lovely. Just beautiful. Now for some of us, the liquid may have changed, reduced, changed color, even disappeared. For others, it'll be the same, and that's fine too. There's no right answer. There's just whatever you get presented with. There is a button on the inside of the vat, and if you push it, this energy, this trapped emotion, will drain out like liquid, pulled by gravity into the earth to be transmuted to light. Push the button if you choose. That's it. Let it go. Draining, draining, draining. Nice. Maybe for some of you it's down to your waist. Keep letting it go. Nice. Down to your knees, maybe. To your ankles. Out your feet. As the vat empties of the emotion, imagine the sides of the vat fall away onto the ground, where the ground swallows it up. And you step off of the drain, and you step into the most beautiful place in nature that you could imagine. It is the present moment. To highlight your experience, use your senses. Imagine that you're barefoot and you can feel the grass. You can smell the flowers. It is the most beautiful, perfect place. Be in awe of the majesty. If you like snow caps, there are snow-capped mountains. If it's ocean, if it's both, just let it fill you with magnificence, with astonishment. How did this beautiful world ever get created? How did such beauty ever happen? Listen to the breeze through the trees. The body is in the present moment. Your senses connect you to your body, which connects you to the now. Feel the magnificence around you and now realize that you're standing in the sun. And oh, it feels magnificent. It's warming, it's healing, it's life-giving. It is essence of who we are. And it is given to us unconditionally. It doesn't care how much you earn, what you look like, what is your future or past, what you've done, what you haven't done, what you think about yourself or what you think about anything. It shines on you, giving you everything, asking for nothing. It is the perfect description of unconditional love. So we're going to imagine this unconditional sunlight is God's love, shining down on us just like sunlight. And all we have to do is say yes to it by not putting up an umbrella or going inside. That's the magnitude of our contribution. Don't resist the greatest gift that you'll ever know. Just say yes and let it in and let it love you and let it warm you and let it heal you and let it wash away any judgment that you hold on yourself, that you are unlovable. If you can stand in the sunlight and receive that, then you are loved. Let that heal back through time, because there is no time in the unconscious. Everything is now. Let this love heal back through what we call time to any childhood experience, which in this moment holds the idea of unlovability, and let it shine it away. Oh my God. You mean that was an illusion? That was a shadow. This love is real. I really am loved. I really am loved now. This love is always here for me. I only have to let it shine on me. Wow. Now, if there is any of that feeling that you started with left, imagine that you could open up as if you were hinged, like a refrigerator door, front and back, and let that feeling that you broke up with your attention that just needs to be released to the light, let it go. Let the light transmute it. It was just an illusion, a misperception, an unreality. It has nothing to do with who you are, who the sun is, what love is. Just let it go and just stand in the light. And so we ask that this healing be integrated through all time, space, dimensions, and interdimensions, throughout the hologram of life and existence, which is to say through every part and particle of our being and through our being, to the light, to everyone, to the universe. And so it is. Well, that was fun.
Amen.
Phew, that was pretty darn good. I liked it.
Thank you.
Thank goodness.
Wanna-
So,
yeah.
where do you want to take it from there?
Well, perhaps open this up to see if anyone would like to.
Yeah, let's do that. That'd be really fun.
Great. I encourage you to feel free to take the mic. I can't necessarily see everybody.
It might take people 10 or 20 seconds just to come back and be present somehow. Not that I meant to leave you in the ether, but sometimes it feels that way. Love to hear your experiences with it too. That would be really cool.
Great. Glenda, thank you.
Yeah, when you asked to come up with an emotion, mine was, that's been in my life right now, especially with, I've been having some deep insights and I'm feeling betrayed and conned. It's like I spend a lifetime trying to find the right way. And then I'm waking up and seeing that it's a dream and all this stuff I've done didn't matter. And it's like there's this anger in me and this feeling of being conned or betrayed. So when I was standing in the vat, it felt like a vat of molasses.
Got it. All right. Are you open to my working with you directly?
Sure.
Got it. So, because all patterns reproduce themselves, it's very likely that this is going to track back to something that happened with mother, father, or caregivers.
Right.
Is that true?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All patterns repeat themselves until they don't. And the way they don't is what I told you. You have to take the jigsaw puzzle pieces out of the jigsaw puzzle. So this is probably what, father was the main source of this? That's what my signal tells me. So what we can do if we like, is that we can do for you, but for everyone at the same time, a clearing relating to the inner child work that I think is absolutely required for everybody. So there's going to be a sense of betrayal. In this case, father and probably mother too, but father. And then that becomes your filter. And now you're looking at the world through this filter of betrayal, and you can't help but see it wherever you look until the filter's gone. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
It's still there because you haven't completed the release of the filter.
Right.
So we're going to do, and everyone will do it too, and everyone will do their own version of it, but we'll do a little inner child work so you can find a way, and then you'll be able to repeat it on my website, or you may need to do a session with me at some point, something like that. Okay, so I'm asking, how old is this little girl that holds this pattern that is the piece in the jigsaw puzzle that we're about to work with? So guidance tells me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Guidance says, work with about a 6-year-old little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you were to imagine, Glenda, that little 6-year-old girl in her room holding the pattern of betrayal, what would her body look like as she's sitting on her bed? Slumped down, balled up, hiding? What's the posture?
Either really constricted or hyperactive, pretending it's not happening.
Got it. Beautiful. Very insightful. I will ask which one guidance wants to work with. Okay. And I'm going to ask everyone else now. Go back to your childhood. Find a feeling of not enoughness, unlovability, betrayal, need to hide, non-acceptability. You're not as much compared to your siblings. Find anything of that nature so that as I work with Glenda, I can also work with you. Okay. Cool. Now, here's the really wonderful part, okay? I'd like you to imagine that you're looking into the room where the 6-year-old is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, as you look into the room and you see that little girl, it is your best self that's looking into the room. Now, how do you get to your best self? That's an interesting question. What is the easiest thing for you to love? And this would be true for everyone else listening. What's the easiest thing for you to love? Is it a dog? Is it a cat? Is it a kid? Is it a tree? Doesn't matter. As long as you find something that you have this desire to protect and care for, that's all you need. Got something?
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind saying it out loud? What is it?
My son.
Great. So, as you feel that love for your son, as everyone else feels that whatever they feel for whatever they feel it for, you're going to find your best self's energy of love. It could be kindness, it could be warmth. Glenda, as you feel that energy, could you feel that energy and at the same time hold the intent to harm your son?
No.
Got it. That's one of the most important questions that I could ever ask you. Then you know, and I bet everyone else does too, that unconditional love can't hold the intent to harm, right? True?
Yes.
Got it. Now, take that feeling, and you're the best self that goes into the room where the 6-year-old is, as everyone else takes their love into the room with their little boy or girl, and say to that little girl, I have come to protect you. I have come to bring you love, safety, protection, kindness. Love sent me to you. I am your loving adult. You didn't have me up until this moment, but now you do. And I am going to be with you forever because love has sent me And I am you, grown up. Ask her if you could sit next to her. Would she let you? Cool. Would she like to have your arm around her, hold your hand, be in your lap? What would she like?
A hug.
A hug. Great. Give her that hug. Does it feel good to love her?
Yes.
Great. That's the healing energy moving through you to the wound in the unconscious. Now, subconscious can't tell the difference between real and imagined. Feel that goodness and imagine spending an hour with her, giving her your full attention and your kindness and love. All right. Now, that hour's over. Did she like it?
Yes.
Yes. And the way you said that, I could feel your body relax in a way that it didn't relax before. Yes. It's beautiful. That's the healing going through your whole body right there. The door's opened to something that hasn't opened before, and that's what you're feeling. Cool. Now, imagine that you spend the whole day with her, loving her and protecting her. Got it. Does she like that? Yes, of course she does. Yes. And your whole body is starting to let in this healing energy. It's not your love that you're delivering. You're delivering God's love. And that's what heals. Through your best self to the place that's wounded. And that's what everyone else who's watching is doing as well. Delivering unconditional love to a place that hadn't received it. Now, here's the cool part. Multiply that loving adult that you are and surround that little 6-year-old with 100 loving adults holding hands, forming a circle. Got it? Such that if your father or someone else were to enter that circle with an intent to betray, to be violent or nasty or whatever, it would be 100 to 1 against him. You got 100 loving adults to whatever he was thinking. His thoughts don't have a chance against 100 to 1. He's going to walk in, he's going to feel overwhelmed by love, and he's either going to be nice or he's going to turn around instantly and walk away. He cannot harm that little girl ever again. Got the idea?
Yeah.
Good. Spend a week loving that little girl with this circle of safety. And she is going to take a deep breath. She's going to start to get used to this idea that she might be safe in this life. Nice. That's it. There you go. Now, give her that love for 2 months of imagined time. It doesn't matter what you do in that time. You just think 2 months pass of this love. The love is what you have to think about. The 2 months will have the effect as if it were really 2 months because the subconscious can't tell the difference. Now, 2 months later, how's that little girl doing? Better, right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Good. Now give her a year. She's now 7. Now here's the cool part. She's now going to live a different life than you did. She's going to have a different nurturing. She's going to be totally protected her whole life. She's going to meet different people. She's going to have a different life. It doesn't mean that your life isn't absolutely perfect for your healing and growth. It means this is a different facet of your being that is awakening in you that will contribute to your life starting now. Got it. Imagine this girl with you protecting her and loving her. She's 10 now. Not you at 10, but her. Use your imagination. She's safe. She can't be betrayed. She's protected. She's happy. Cool. Now she's starting to blossom differently. Bring her up, and everyone else bring up your children to 15. Not what you were like at 15. That's the mistake. What is she like at 15? That's it. Keep going. Bring her up to 19. She's going to meet different people. She may marry different people. She may have different kids. Again, she's just a different facet of yourself. But she's going to reveal yourself to you. Keep growing her up. Keep loving her. Keep her safe. Imagine her at 25. Keep growing her up. Imagine her at 30, even if some of you aren't 30. Keep growing her up to 40. All right, Glenda, you've been there to protect this girl. She's grown up in safety and love to 40. What qualities do you see in her?
She doesn't have to try so hard.
Yes, I agree.
There's a calmer, more sense of acceptance.
Yes, I feel the peace. Yeah.
Yeah, and peace. No need to constantly look for attention.
Beautiful. Very clear insight. One more. One other quality.
Open.
Yeah. I was looking at the same thing. The word I found was spontaneous.
Yeah.
Same thing. So, Glenda, here's the cool thing. That's you without your stuff. Right. Isn't that neat? That's you without your stuff. And that's you, all the people that watched, without your stuff.
And, you know, when you had the circle of 100 people and
yes. Of loving adults, yes.
And loving adults, and my father came, I realized that there is no father. That it was just my ideas of him still operating through me that are continuing to make me act out the same patterns. Beautiful. But in that moment, there was no father. And awesome. There's no reason to continue in the same way.
Amen, sister.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so great.
Thank you.
Oh, that was really fun. I hope that was good for everyone. I'm going to turn on a little more light. That better? I suppose it is. Anything you want to say before we open it up to other people to comment?
No, thank you. That was powerful.
It was. It was really great. Thanks for your bravery. Thoughts, comments? How did it work for other people? Anyone want to share?
I got a note that someone's hand was up. Would you like to take the mic? Let's see.
Sure, thank you very much. And I'll turn the light on too. Yes, first of all, I really enjoyed the meditation in the cylinder, the tube.
Oh, cool. Hi, Joanne. Yeah.
Hello. And one of the things was I could feel the emotion I was using was disgust, and I could feel it in my heart center. And when you directed the energy downward in the cylinder, I had a little bit of shift of fighting against that, because usually I bring the energy up out of my crown chakra. So that was interesting. But on this last meditation that you just did, was very, very powerful. I'm actually a little bit disoriented right now from it.
Let me check you out, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Tell me a little about what the disorientation feels like. I have a thought already. I just want to confirm it.
I'm sick right now.
Uh-huh.
The body is sick.
Got it. So what I'm feeling is that you're carrying other people's energy,
Yes.
and we want to clean that out.
Yeah.
So maybe you're an empath, maybe you take
Oh,
on
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So that would make sense. So I would call it empathic boundary failure, okay?
Okay.
So I'm asking guidance, is it a male energy? No, it's a female energy. Okay. So we don't need to name the person. We just need to know that there's a female energy that you've interacted with and you've taken on some of her energy.
Yes.
Would you be willing to let it go?
Yes.
Awesome. I'd like you to imagine, please, Joanne, that you're wrapped about 20 times in fabric of this woman's energy that you've taken on, that doesn't need to be held by you, that can be released to the light. All right?
Yep.
Ask your angels and guides to unwind it. Take this energy that's wrapped around you to the light.
Okay.
Doing good. Keep going. Yep, and more. Nice. Good. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%. Cool. And 100. Now you can open up as if you have refrigerator doors, front and back, and you can let this woman's energy out like blackbirds. They'll fly out. We ask your angels and guides to collect all of these blackbirds, take them back to the light. They don't need to be in you. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve her. It doesn't serve anything. You don't have to fix anybody. You're lovable exactly as you are. Letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. 30% done. 50. 70. All right, there's something sitting on your chest. We ask your angels and guides to lift it off. It's heavy. Take it to light. And your throat, lift it off. Take it to light. And on your head, take it off. Take it to light. You don't need that heavy energy. And there's some energy stuck. I use the image of a sword. It's not a sword, but it's just a way of conceiving something being pulled out, taking the light, and transmute it. It's just energy that you picked up in different descriptions. Nothing evil about it. It's just empathic boundary failure. Send it back to the light. Doesn't help you, doesn't help her. You are whole, complete, lovable, exactly as you are, without fixing anyone, taking anything on, being deemed as valuable. You're just perfectly lovable, exactly as you are. And so we ask that this healing be integrated through all time, space, dimensions, and interdimensions, throughout the hologram of life and existence. And so it is. You look better. How are you feeling?
Well, I feel good. What a long, strange trip it's been.
Amen. You look like you're back. Yeah.
A little bit. One of the things I was going to ask you is about what you were saying, how you came back from, your studies and you had candida, you had food allergies.
Yeah.
Also, I can relate to this. I have some sort of an idiopathic affliction going on right now. I've been dealing with hives over the last month, and I believe it started with a bug bite, but I'm not sure. So I'm by myself, and I can't like really just pull people in because of COVID. And
Right, yeah, I hear you.
so I did some testing myself yesterday, and I don't know how to do the kinesiology without a partner, so I used a pendulum.
Good.
I got that it was started from it was triggered by latex, and that I'm highly allergic to nickel, and I think I have a lot of metal built up in my body. What I'm getting, because I have dystrophic eczema. Can you see it?
Yes, I see. Got it.
I don't know if you can see my lips.
I see it.
They were swollen and all blistered.
Yeah.
It actually felt like chemical burns,
Got it.
you know, so that's why
Those may be true on the surface level, but I don't think that's what's up. I
Okay.
think that what's up is about self-love.
okay.
I think the issue is knowing that you're lovable exactly as you are. No need to punish yourself, no need to suffer, to just recognize how spectacular a being you are as God creates you, and love the heck out of yourself.
And the energy that we got rid of, that was what the real trigger was.
That was very important to clean out, absolutely.
Thank
Great.
you.
Oh, Joanne, my pleasure. Thanks for speaking up.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Glenda. Cheryl, I see your hand.
Well, first of all, I just want to say that Joanne, you look, I'm sitting here with Shauna, and that's why we're wearing masks. You look completely different. I just want you to know that we both were like, and it was like she said the same things that I was feeling. She expressed it, and I was like, and Sean was like, "You gotta go, you gotta sprint." And I've been having issues, and this has been going on and off for years. I have the same issue on my hand, by the way. I want to thank you. Is your name Rick?
Yep.
Okay, Rick.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi. I feel like we've met, and it doesn't matter. But are you a certified kinesiologist?
Nope.
Okay. And then I wanted to share an aha that I got when you were talking about in the very beginning, right before meditation, you were talking about how when we allow ourselves to get out of the basement. And I had a visual at that very second that you said that, because the basement was very, very scary as a little girl. Very scary.
Yep.
There was a lot of inappropriate things that went on. There was just a lot of fear and a lot of things that should not have happened. Well, they did happen. Anyway.
Yes.
I don't want to get into the shoulds.
No, I get it.
But what I realized is it was a metaphor for me to look at that, you know, with the feelings of the healing and the, you know, all the stuff that I have allowed to uncover through this lifetime up till now, the basement was a scary place.
Yeah.
And so now I can use that metaphor to allow my thoughts or any fears that come up and say, you're safe. You're not in the basement anymore. You know, I mean, it was just a really great aha moment for me.
Beautiful. I am getting a piece of information as you're speaking. What you're saying is awesome. Don't be reluctant to ask your angels, your guides, the luminous beings, God, to go with you and clean out the basement with light.
Okay. And I felt that felt really good to hear that.
It's
Yeah.
not for you to do on your own. It's to be supported by that which is love, that which is trustworthy, that which stands with you forever. But the rule is, it can't do it unless you ask it to. That's the rule. Otherwise, it's interfering with free will.
And I also shared with Joanne, there was a situation where there's somebody that I feel like she's taken a lot of space in my head over the last few months. And I actually felt a prompt when you were telling her to, let it lift, let it come out, up. I got the prompt to immediately open my door and let it out. Just
Nice.
let it out. Just let it out. And then at the end, all I saw was love.
That's beautiful.
All I saw.
Fantastic.
I know. I feel so grateful that I'm here. I really am. I'm so grateful.
Great.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Oh, you're not done with me. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Oh, I'm just acknowledging that I get confirmation on all you just said.
Oh, thank you.
That was fun. Thanks.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Cheryl. And I think Dawn has a question as well. Dawn.
Hi, Rick.
Hi, how are you?
Dr. Rick. I'm the sanctuary director here. I have the privilege and honor of having this amazing job.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
what's coming up for me is this pattern, and I know it's a long-standing pattern, and I feel it, but I have a feeling that this is not just with me. This is one of those patterns. So I wanted to say it out loud, vocalize it, so that the one mind could heal.
Beautiful.
And the fear is the fear of the loss, like love. I've been estranged from my son for almost two years now. Everything I love leaves, moves away, or dies. And so one of the things I noticed lately is my boyfriend is extremely loving, very kind, very sweet to me. And even with all that, because of this fear, I notice that I push him away, and I keep having the thought that we're going to break up, that it's a ticking time bomb, and it's going to end. And so there's this fear of this pattern repeating itself of loss, and it's specifically around the loss of love.
Yeah. Got it. Shall we do it? Shall we
I'm
track
ready.
it? All right. All right. Why don't you take 3 breaths, peace in, tension out, while I go to guidance and ask what's going on here. Got it. All right, is it okay to ask a personal question?
Yes.
Okay. Let's invoke the confidentiality rule with everyone watching. Nothing is allowed to be spoken outside of this group, okay? Or whoever watches it.
I can always do the editing. I'm the one who edits the video, so I can edit this out later.
Okay. So here's my question. Guidance is putting in my mind the question of, is there something you think you're being punished for?
I feel like I want to say yes, but I don't know what it's about.
Something about the family. Something that you held was your fault as a child, And you're holding yourself in blame. Now, if we don't find the actual occurrence, not a problem. But if there's something that comes to mind, great. If not, we'll just do it generically and it will still work.
I'm drawing a blank.
What about siblings? What was it like for you with siblings?
Oh, there is blame there. Okay,
Yeah.
so I was supposed to be watching my brother.
Yes,
I was young. I was in like first or second grade.
I get it.
My brother was like 3 or 4 years old. Okay, he was 4. And I
Yeah.
was supposed to be babysitting him. And there were train tracks by our house. Well, my mom had told us you're not to go near the train tracks. And well, I didn't. But my brother has always been kind of stubborn and he likes to do his own thing. So he did go by the train tracks. I didn't. And I tried to tell him, come away from the train tracks. Well, the neighbors saw. The neighbors told on us. And that boy, we both did. But he got the worst whooping of his life. He went first. And I witnessed this. And I felt like it was my fault because, you know, I was supposed to be watching him.
Yep.
And he
Yeah.
got it bad.
Yeah.
He got it bad.
Yes.
And I went second, and I got tore up too, but he got tore up. And every time my mom would punish him, because she was the main one who would punish, he always got it so much worse than I did.
Yes. Bless your heart, sweetie. And that's what we got to get out of this system. Okay? So, an apology actually needs to be made, not to your mom, but to the soul of your brother. Would you be willing to do that?
Yes.
Call on your brother's higher self.
How
And
do I do that?
just call on it and it'll show up. Can't not show up. You guys are connected by love. To his higher self, that's what showed up. His best self. I am so sorry that I didn't watch you better, that you got so beaten up because of me. I feel so terrible about this, like I betrayed you, like I betrayed love. Can you forgive me for not watching you better, for letting that happen? Can you forgive me? What does Chris's higher self say?
It feels like you didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly. You're reading it perfectly. He says, of course I forgive you. You did the best you could. They say that forgiveness is realizing that there's nothing to forgive. Of course I forgive you, says Chris. I love you. I always loved you. I know you love me. The whole thing is just ludicrous. So just let it go. Let it go, Dawn. I love you. You love me. You did the best you could. I brought it on myself. It has nothing to do with you. You haven't damaged me. You haven't damaged love. It's all okay. Now open up and release 100,000 blackbirds of blame and let it pour out of you. Going to the light, going to the light, going to the light. Let the blame go. My gosh, I did the best I could. I don't have to be afraid that I have failed love, that I have to be punished for the rest of my life for this. I'm totally forgiven by Chris. And now I just need to forgive myself. I did the best I could as a little kid. If I could have done better, I would have. That's all.
True.
The whole thing is, if I could have done better, I would have. If I could have, I would have. That's the essence of this. As you accept that, if I could have, I would have. Now reach into the heart chakra and lift out that woundedness and offer it up to the light. Actually take your physical hands, reach to the center of your chest and lift out that woundedness and offer it to the light. That's it. And let it go. Deep breath. And do a sigh of relief. Actually make an ah on the exhale. Ah. Yeah, there you go. That was a good ah. How do you feel?
That was intense.
Cool.
I feel like more love towards him than I have in a long time.
Yes.
So something did shift.
And yourself in the world, and you don't have to be afraid that you have to be punished for the rest of your life now. We ask that this healing be integrated. And so it is.
Amen.
Well, that was wonderful and intense. Cool. Thanks for your bravery, Don.
Amen. Thank you, Dawn. And I would like to check in, invite anyone else who feels prompted to share or to step into this space, metaphorically.
It feels like it's been very intense. It may be that everybody's cooked, which would be very nice. Yeah. Just the rice got cooked about 15 minutes early, that's all.
Can I put a little add in? I agree with you, and it's okay if you want to just crawl in bed for 5-10 minutes or whatever and just hold that inner child.
Yeah,
it's really
nice.
good to do that.
Nice.
Because I've done a lot of healing work over the years, but I just, even with this session, I have lifted just a little more, a little bit more. And I'm really grateful for this, really. Thank you so much.
Very cool. Don, I'm glad you feel so much lighter than before. I'm very pleased.
Just a couple things, Rick.
Yes, dear.
I remember over the years you called it like bubble wrap in the subconscious. And
Yes.
these little pieces of things that we couldn't process because it was too much for us at wherever age or emotional place we were.
Absolutely.
And that each one of these things just helps get rid of those bubbles in the subconscious so the light flows through. And
absolutely. And in this case with Dawn, it wasn't just one bubble. She took a whole bunch of that bubble wrap and wrapped it around. A whole bunch of bubbles popped for her.
yeah, I would think you have less work. You won't need to edit it out, Dawn. It was perfectly beautiful and helpful for everybody.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
Being part of it too. It was quite wonderful.
Yeah, hope you leave it because it will be important for other people to watch it. They'll get the same clearing just watching.
And I have no idea what the other thing was. So just to thank you. Oh, I was going to mention again the oracle cards. that are on your website.
They're so good.
That you can, I think I've got them on my phone.
The
And
app is better. My son improved the ones. They're free on the website, but they're a couple of bucks on the app, and they have pictures. And it also gives you a discount for clearing sessions. So
it's a lovely little thing that you just ask a question and kind of pick a card. And the point is that there's not any one right answer, but guidance, as Rick calls it, guidance is doing this for us to see. So it's a lovely thing too.
thank you, sweetie. Yes, I hope people get to do it because
Here's somebody else.
they're remarkable.
Sapphire Grace says Oracle cards are magical.
They are magical. People keep saying, how does it possibly know that? It's very fun.
And my dear, dear compatriot, Kathy Miller.
I just wanted to also say that the cards are just a marvelous tool. They're on my iPad, and
Good.
I use them frequently. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for these clearings, because as Dawn was clearing and as, Glenda was clearing as well, I had very parallel experiences and was able to clear things. So,
Awesome. That was my
and Dawn said, it's for the one mind, and whew,
yeah.
very powerful.
Kathleen,
Thank
that
you.
was exactly my intent. I am so glad. And I just get tickled pink by those cards. So thank you for liking them.
Beautiful. Thank you for being here.
Yes, Sharon.
Yes, I wanted to ask a question to Rick.
Yeah.
You were talking about like pretty much our beliefs get started. What were it's pretty much before we're 7, right? Like that's the
From
they
0 to 7, but also in utero.
That's what I wanted to ask you. That's
Yeah.
that's an important thing for me to look at, because what I deal with a lot. My mother was paralyzed from the head down when she had me from polio, and her being an idea in my mind has not. I'm still where you said, I'm where you had been when you were meditating. I still have beliefs. I still have to move these beliefs out, because indeed, if she wasn't there, but yet these ideas about myself, and then the universe just gave me everything that, a lot of struggling, a lot. Because I think because we're so powerful, whatever we believe is going to manifest. So I'm going to look at your website, and, I'm an artist, so I love the way you did your visual stuff, because
Cool.
it's,
Here's the thing. If you sign up for the newsletter on my website, my son, who's my webmaster and who's designed the website, he'll send you a clearing with words in my voice every week for 12 weeks, free. So that'll help.
Yeah, you're a lovely man, really lovely. I mean,
Thank
I'm
you,
sorry
Eva.
I didn't go, because my story just is repeating, but yet I know what it is now. And, I need more visual stuff. That's what I'm seeing. From your teaching tonight, I could see, and Regina had brought that in one of our retreats, because the unconscious doesn't really know anything, right? It's just playing back a memory into the present.
Yeah.
And it uses different players to play that out.
You got it. So I'm just wondering if I could direct you to one free clearing on the website. Where would I direct you? So give me a moment. Okay, Sharon? Wow, I keep looking and they keep pulling something away every time I think I found it. So I'm still looking. You want her to go to the website. You want her to work with the clearings. You want to work with the audio book. You want her to work with a pathway. Yes. there is an addiction to having problems. That's what guidance is saying.
That's a good one.
It's an addiction to having problems. So when you go to the website, be on the lookout for what are the pathways seems to talk about it. There is one of the MP3s that you can get for $10 that is a 1-hour session on addiction, freedom, releasing unrewarding and addictive behaviors.
Because it doesn't have to be a substance. It's our pain.
No, it's not. It's right. It's an addiction to something, right? To having problems.
Well,
That's
to me,
the addiction.
it could be addiction to suffering. It could be addiction to
Having problems. That's it.
yeah.
Those the word. Don't
You know
run away
what I
from
love
those
about your
words.
guidance? You remind me a little of Abraham, you know, because of the way she does it. Like she gets an answer right away.
Yes, I get answers. Then they're pretty solid. So having a problem must do something for your brain chemistry that you've become addicted to. You have to undo what's ever happening to your brain chemistry when you have a problem. Unconsciously, you're looking for that brain chemical. That will get undone.
There is a brain chemical that I just looked up because it's a brain chemical, but I forget the name of it. But it's the one that if you have a lot of trauma, it keeps it's operating the chemistry.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I forget the name. I have to look at this, but I will look on your card. I found your stuff so creative, just so beautiful and so new for all of us.
Oh, thank you. That's great.
Thank you.
Lots of love.
Great, thank you, Sharon. I'm just scanning.
Doreen has her hand up.
Great, Doreen. I saw your camera come on. I didn't want to call you out, but I sensed that it was you. Great.
Hi, Rick.
Hi, how are you, Doreen?
I'm doing great, thank you. So I'm curious about the sensation that I'm feeling, and it started once you started the visualization. I started to feel a sensation. It almost feels like vibrating. It also kind of feels like something spilling out of my left hand through these first 2 fingers.
Cool.
And sometimes in the palm of my hand. And it's been like that since from the time you started the visualization to now. And then I started to feel just a little bit, very faintly in the other hand, the same 2 fingers. So I'm just curious as to what might be happening.
Do you do hands-on healing? Have you ever?
I do, yeah.
That's what
it feels
is.
very similar.
Yeah. It's the healing energy coming through your body. Just out of curiosity, I can't hold my iPhone and type on it because my energy coming out of my hands so scrabbles and scrambles anything I'm trying to type. It starts sending stuff before I want it. The energy coming out of my hands. Do you have the same problem with the phone?
I do when not with the phone, but sometimes with computers or something. If I'm having a very stressful time, then I'll start having problems.
Interesting.
So that I think
it was healing energy. Yeah.
Okay, good. That's what I was like. Am I experiencing the release for me because I did relate to what was happening, or is it? I sometimes will call it I get activated when I'm in the presence of someone who probably needs some type of healing. And
I think you were contributing to the healing, is what I think, Doreen. I think you were contributing to what everyone was receiving, and thank you for that.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Cool. What a wonderful group you are. Thank you for inviting me. Such a pleasure to be with you guys.
Dr. Rick, we have about maybe 4 or 5 minutes left. And if someone else wants to ask a question, please mic yourself right in over me. But what I thought I'd mention real quick, we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
You have a book The Light Traveler's Notebook. And I just, I have not read the book. It was in doing my research that I found out about the book. But I would love you just to give the premise. And it just sounds like such a fun.
It's out of print.
Yeah, okay.
You can buy the clearings. There are about 21, I think, of the clearings that are available on my website as an audio. The book itself is not available, but the clearings are. And the premise of the book is, what if an enlightened consciousness came to the planet and wanted to describe what was going on here and how to live on this planet in the best possible way? And so I'm writing another book now, and my dear editor and friend Sapphire Grace is helping me tremendously, and it's called Drops of Wisdom, and it's really taking a look at 18 of the major questions like God and love, and taking a look at what were some of the greatest thoughts that were ever said about these, and then what have I learned from my work as it complements that. And so that's where my heart and soul is now. I'm just so excited about this book and so grateful to Sapphire Grace for helping it to come into reality.
Well, great. Do you have a sense that's very much in the works, it sounds like? So we don't
very much in the works.
We don't have a release date yet.
My guess is we're looking at 6 months to a year.
Let me tell you, I would put money on your guess any day. So wonderful. So I just, I'm the one that gets to say it on behalf of this group. It is such an honor and a privilege and just a heartwarming love to just spend this time with you, experiencing, and not just your very, very gifted way, but just demonstrating for all of us that guidance is there. If we stop, we go in, we ask the question, like you said, and we listen and we wait for the answer. You are a living demonstration, as Regina is, as many are, that's always here. And are we asking, are we open, and are we patient?
That's so beautiful. That's lovely. If you feel drawn to work with me, that's what I do. I do sessions over the phone, over either the telephone or iPhone or whatever, and I love working with people individually. As you can see, that's my real gift.
Yes, and what a gift you are. So thank you again. We honor you, love you. We will. I'll make sure I send you out when this goes up. Dawn will do her magic, and then we'll be in touch. But on behalf of all of us, what a gift. Thank you.
So fun to be with you guys. Lots of love. Mwah!
Thank you for watching this Satsang. If you enjoyed this, please visit our website, awakening-together.org. There's plenty of inspiration to be found. Thank you again for watching.